Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make an insulated bucket hat for kids using VKCU's sewing pattern Lila. I didn't pay attention that the pattern was for 200-gram insulation for very cold winter, so I had to reduce the size. Besides, the first hat didn't come up well done. That's why I have two of them. In the next video I will show how to do it. Let's start! First, prepare the pattern. This is how you place the pattern according to the instruction. I will do this way. If you're not familiar with VKCU's pattern, check out this video. When you cut out the insulation, always leave additional 2 cm seam allowance. My insulation is 100 grams. Still, that's too much for Portugal's climate. Very carefully, I'm splitting insulation in two halves. So my hat will have 50 grams insulation.
Make space for the new you, like I'm old news in your review mirror.
Before cutting the main fabric, make sure that the arrows on the pattern are parallel to the edge of the fabric.
Still a baby bird flies straight out the nest like
Don't forget to transfer all the notches. So the front part is cut out of the main material, insulation and lining fabric. Upper brim, main material and insulation. Side panel, main material, insulation and lining. For facing of the brim, you just need the main fabric. Place the fabric together with the insulation.
How can I believe when everything is home? You said things could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't.
Insulation can move around, so it is important to leave those extra 2 centimeters.
Don't. I believe you when everything is see-through. How can I believe everything is see-through? Everything is see-through. Everything is see-through. How can I believe when everything is see-through?
Stitch length is from 4 to 5 millimeters. Stitch 8 mm from the edge. It would be helpful if you had a Teflon presser foot or a walking foot for this operation. The fabric lays flat on the table. I help with my fingers to fit the fabric gradually. I'm also pulling a little bit the fabric in opposite directions. In the end, the final piece should lay flat as it was before quilting, without any deformation. Now we need to cut out the insulation from the seam allowances. Put the brim and the facing together and pin the external edges. The facing piece is a little bit smaller to prevent from appearing on the right side. That's why there is some ease going on, just spread it equally. Base stitch if necessary and then stitch on the sewing machine, 1 cm seam allowance. Now put the side seams of the brims together and stitch. Press the seam open. Now place the seam allowance towards the facing, the one without insulation, and understitch, stitching 1–2 mm from the seam. Put together internal edges of the brims and base stitch the external ones like shown in the video.
I've been alone for what seems like forever. Try to hold it together, but I'm losing my grip. I need someone who can make me feel better. Wrap me up in a sweater, treat my pain with a kiss. Then suddenly you are here, inside my head, everywhere. Where did you come from? I'm wondering, baby, are you made up of for real? Say, can you feel what I feel? 'Cause I can tell if I'm just dreaming. I wish I had a girl like you, and I wish you could be real, but you're not really here. And I don't wanna wake up without you, but tonight is gonna have to do. If I'm gonna get with a girl like you, I fade away. Every day you're not with me, baby. Now that you've showed me what love could be like, what can I say? I know it sounds like I'm crazy, but I need to believe in you to get through my life. Then suddenly you are here, inside my head, everywhere. Where did you come from? I'm wondering, baby, are you made up of for real? Say, can you feel what I feel? 'Cause I can tell if I'm just dreaming. I wish I had a girl like you, and
Base stitch 5 to 8 mm from the edge.
wish you could be real, but you're not really here. And I don't wanna wake up without you, but tonight is gonna have to do. If I'm gonna get with a girl like you,
Put together the sides of the side panel and sew them with 1 cm seam allowance.
With a girl like you, then suddenly you are here inside my head everywhere. Where did you come from? I'm wondering, baby.
Press the seam allowances open and secure them with hand stitches. We are attaching seam allowances to the insulation only.
Wish I had a girl like you, and I wish it could be real, but you're not really here, and I don't wanna wake up without you. But tonight is gonna have to do if I'm gonna get with
The same with the other side.
you, girl like you. If I'm gonna get with a girl like you.
Place together the notches on the crown and the side panel of the hat. This is the most complicated part. Spread the ease equally and base stitch.
But tonight is gonna have to do if I'm gonna get with a girl like you.
Stretch a little bit the seam to see any potential defects. Again, I'm stretching the parts in opposite directions to avoid any undesirable folds of the right side. Don't forget to remove base stitches. Press the seam allowance open and then press them flat towards the side panel. This is my first bucket hat that didn't work out. I am removing insulation from the seam allowances.
There's a party downtown, someone said that you're coming by.
Now we need to secure the seam allowance in the position, so let's base stitch.
Meet me up for a smoke outside. I regret what I said, didn't mean it. Yeah, believe me, I guess I take it back. There's a party downtown, someone said that you're coming by.
If you you are making a thinner version like me and like to make stop stitching, then you don't need to make this step. Just stop stitch the side panel. Who's making original 200-gram insulated hat, then you need to secure the seam allowance to the insulation with hand stitches, because the other basting stitches will be removed.
If we don't, then they're forgiving what we want. And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. And if we do, then if we don't, then they're forgiving what we want to what we
Now put the brim and the side panel together and sew them on the machine. We're stitching on top of the side panel. Again, don't forget to stretch the fabric in opposite directions.
music's loud. I forget that we're done, that you're back with your girlfriend now. For a minute, I'm back where we started, in that hallway. We couldn't keep our hands away from each other. Did you ever tell her I have to sleep in the bed I made? I don't sleep much at all these days, 'cause you always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. And if we do, then if we don't, then if we
For the lining of the hat, you need two parts. I use the cotton fabric not to slide too much on top of hair.
down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. And if we do, then if we don't, then if we're giving what we want to what we want, to what we want, to what we want. There's a party downtown, I really hope that you're coming by. But you always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. And if we do, then if we don't, then if we're giving what we want. And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. And if we do, then if we don't, then if we're giving what we want to what we want.
I'm a mess. Don't know how I got here, but I'm blessed. Didn't know it'd take me past my destiny. You're behind me with the rest, 'cause I'm a mess. No more you.
And I go home. You said things could only get better. I needed more than ever. They don't. How can I believe you when everything is secret, secret? Everything is secret, secret. Everything is secret, secret.
Now turn wrong side out, placing the brim inside, and put the lining inside face down.
You see through.
Join the notches and pin them together, leaving a hole 8 to 10 centimeters around the seam area.
Must be nice, you went and got a penthouse. All your friends partying is real loud. Brand new money with a brand new chest. Still a baby bird price straight off the nest like you. No more, And I go could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't. How can I believe you when everything is see-through, see-through? Everything is see-through, see-through. Everything is see-through, see-through. Everything is see-through. How can I believe it when everything is see-through, see-through? Oh, you said things could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't. Oh, you said things could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't. How can I believe you when everything?
To prevent the lining from moving around, we need to join seam allowances of the crown from the hat together with the seam allowances of the crown lining.
Everything is see-through. How can I believe it when everything is see-through, see-through? You ain't gotta be so see-through. You ain't gotta be.
Carefully hand stitch seam allowances only.
You ain't gotta be so see-through. You ain't gotta be see-through, see-through, yeah.
Now we need to turn the hat right side out and close the hole with hand stitches. Stitches are 1 to 2 millimeters long. They are strictly in the fold and always in front of each other. As my hat is thin, I decided to top stitch the edges of the brim. Remove all the basting stitches and the hat is ready. I hope you found this video useful. See you soon. Bye.